Are alien abductions and reincarnation related? This is crazy. Get in here. This is Cosmic Road, where I discuss UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and as I'm going through this, please comment below and let me know what you think. Okay, today's story is coming from the Jeff Mara podcast. Normally, he interviews near-death experiencers, and I've listened to a whole bunch of his interviews from near-death experiencers. Well, recently he's been branching out and has been interviewing people like alien abductees. Well, just the other day, he interviewed these two gentlemen, these kind of good old boy types that have cowboy hats on, which I appreciate being a Texan. But they try to find missing people using pendulums. They communicate with their higher selves or with spirit with a pendulum dowsing technique. They also engage mediums and other things, and they look for missing people, especially missing children. But they also have been involved in other projects as well, and they were involved in a recent Netflix documentary, and they came into contact with this one woman who was really interested in getting to the bottom of her own experiences. She had been having paranormal experiences since she was a little girl, and in ongoing to her as an adult. So she wanted to know what was going on, so she engaged them to do that. And they spent 2.5 years researching her case and using their various dowsing and medium techniques to understand what is going on with her. And it's a fascinating interview. I encourage you to watch the whole thing. It's about an hour long. But there was one particular part that really stood out to me. And that's when they were able to get in touch with the alien, the E.T. as they call him, that is overseeing her case and her herself, or what's going on with her. She is being abducted. She's also having paranormal events, spiritual events, and they are doing stuff. As obviously they don't abduct people for no reason. They typically abduct people when you're very little, and they do it throughout your life, at least to a certain point. And such it is with her, and but there is also a big spiritual component as well, as there often is. Anyway, that is what is so interesting about this case, is the confluence of the spiritual and the alien. You see that a lot, but sometimes you don't see it as clearly as in this case. So let me just get into Jeff Mara is asking them a particular question, and it leads into a very, very interesting area. So let me let you hear what they have to say, and then we'll discuss. Okay, here goes.
What procedures were being done that were causing pain?
Lindsay, from an early age forward, always complained of severe abdominal pain. And I think she was 9 or 10, and she was hospitalized. And every test in the battery was run to see if they could find some diagnosis for what was causing her this intense distress, and nothing. They could come up with nothing. The physicians were finally left with, well, her mother's dying of cancer, and she's just doing this, for competition and get some attention. And of course, that's ludicrous. But it was principally abdominal pains. The purpose, as best we could determine, we didn't go off on many tangents in this investigation. We tried to stay focused on Lindsay, because my gosh, he could have gone so many places. But apparently, 6,000 years ago, on a different plane, Lindsay, and we'll call him E.T., she agreed to participate in a long-term process, and she was asked to do this specifically because she will reincarnate. So the reincarnation apparently was a necessary component for what was being accomplished. And the end game, as best we could determine, was Lindsay's part of a process that will result in Homo sapiens having an average lifespan of 150 years, rather than half that now, and that the sixth sense, the psychic ability, will be greatly enhanced. And when you think about it, that would be a pretty interesting planet to be on, to have that lifespan, but still have that sixth sense for immediate communication with all others. So that seems to be where this is going eventually.
Did you guys get any sense of what type of ET this was and where it was from?
We didn't go into that element so much. We did ask a couple of times if ET was to appear where we could visually see him, what would we see? And it was fairly consistent that we would see what is described in the literature as a Nordic, kind of a tall, light skin, long, kind of blonde hair, large blue eyes. But we never saw that. We just got that description a couple of times. As far as the location, we didn't pursue that. And what the mediums were coming up with is he's everywhere he wants to be.
Out of all this communication, what was the most astounding thing that you learned from E.T.?
Yeah, I got to think on that one.
Yeah,
pretty astonishing.
That's a whole nother book. I think not so much what we learned, but I think what we confirmed is something that you've heard of Jacques Vallée.
Yes.
And he came up with the phrase, "It's all connected." And I think we have a confirmation that it is all connected.
It's all connected. That is fascinating. It is all connected. And by that, I think that he means the spiritual and the alien and just everything. It's all connected. And that's what I see again and again in my research, is the confluence of the spiritual and the alien. 30% of all alien abductees are near-death experiencers. They have, died, been to the other side, and come back. And often they are changed after that event. They have, abilities, psychic abilities, intuition, telekinesis, whatever. They have these abilities. About 70% of them get divorced. 70% of near-death experiencers get divorced. It's a profound, life-changing thing that happens to them. And one of these changes is apparently making them susceptible to alien abductions. Or maybe they just start to remember their abductions. I don't know, but it's fascinating. And sometimes alien abductees will report things like the aliens teaching them in spiritual matters, teaching them about their chakras and how to manage their energies, and other esoteric things that these aliens will teach them. And sometimes they will learn that this is in some sort of payment for what the aliens are doing to them in terms of the procedure. So there's like an exchange going on. However, in this example, of today's example, she actually signed up for this many, many years ago and is a willing participant trying to better humanity, trying to make us live longer and more connected through our third eye. That, again, is something you see a lot in near-death experiences, that the beings on the other side say that we have signed up for this. There are soul contracts. We are fulfilling our soul contract. We had missions when we came here. We had things we wanted to do, and we are simply fulfilling them. You also get that with alien abductions. The aliens, when asked, will often tell people, hey, you signed up for this. That could be exactly what E.T. is talking about in this example today. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Please hit like, please subscribe, please hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you do subscribe, there's social media links below, so please like and follow me on Twitter and Facebook. There's a PayPal button below if you wanted to support the channel. That would be so awesome. Until next time, Cosmic Road out.